You think you know how the world works, until it literally rains fish or stones start moving by themselves in the desert. Imagine waking up in a small Honduran village and finding live fish scattered across the streets and no water in sight. Every year, this strange event, known as Lluvia de Peces, or rain of fish stuns, locals and confounds scientists. There's no ocean nearby, no explanation that fully sticks. Just the sky, raining fish. But this is only the beginning. Our planet is full of mysteries that defy logic, and tonight, you're about to hear some of the strangest. Let's travel to the Sailing Stones of Death Valley, California. Here, massive rocks weighing hundreds of pounds slide across the desert floor entirely on their own. They leave behind deep trails in the cracked earth, like ghostly signatures. No animals, no humans, just motion and silence. For decades, no one understood why. And even when a partial explanation came, it still couldn't account for every movement. Something ancient stirs under the sun-scorched dust. Now picture a thunderstorm, but instead of rain, it's glowing. In Venezuela, the Catatumbo lightning flashes up to 260 nights a year, 10 hours a night. It doesn't stop. It's nature's own neon pulse. The sky above Lake Maracaibo becomes a living strobe light. And here's the twist, there's often no thunder. Just silent, electric madness. This rare storm system even helps regenerate our planet's ozone layer. It's powerful, eerie, and entirely mesmerizing. In Siberia, gigantic holes began erupting from the frozen earth. Massive craters, some over 100 feet wide, appeared overnight in the Yamal Peninsula. Locals feared meteor strikes or secret weapons. But the truth? Trapped methane gas under thawing permafrost exploding from the ground. As climate shifts, the earth breathes, and sometimes it gasps violently. These craters aren't just weird, they're warnings. Ever heard of a place where rocks grow? In Romania, there's a village where strange stone formations called trovants actually expand. After a heavy rain, they swell up and seem to sprout. They even appear to multiply small stones forming beside large ones. Locals believed they were alive. And while science says it's mineral reaction and cementation, that doesn't make it any less weird. Imagine a forest of rocks that's slowly growing. Now, let's dive under the sea to an underwater river. Yesa River beneath the ocean. In Mexico's Cenote Angelita, divers descend into clear water and then suddenly pass through a dense, foggy layer. Below that layer, a winding river of hydrogen sulfide, complete with banks, fallen leaves, and even a current. It's like falling into a dream layered inside another. A surreal reminder that nature plays with illusions we barely understand. In the Namib Desert, strange circles dot the landscape. Called fairy circles, they're perfectly round patches of barren land surrounded by grass. Theories abound: termites, plant competition, even underground gases. But no single explanation holds up across all regions where they appear. The Himba people believe they're footprints of the gods. Maybe they are, because sometimes the land itself speaks in symbols we've forgotten how to read. Picture this: fireballs erupting from a river. In Thailand's Mekong River, every October, glowing orbs of red light rise silently from the water and shoot into the night sky. They're called the Naga fireballs. No sound, no smoke, just hundreds of lights soaring upward. Locals say it's the breath of the mythical Naga serpent. Scientists? Still unsure. Whether it's swamp gas or something more cosmic, it's never been fully explained. In Australia, there's a town where spiders rain from the sky. It's called angel hair, And during certain weather shifts, millions of baby spiders take to the wind on silken threads. They cover homes, trees, and fields in a delicate white shimmer. It looks like snow until it moves. This isn't horror, it's survival. The spiders are simply ballooning to escape flooding. Nature's version of evacuation on tiny gossamer wings. Let's head to the Moiraki boulders of New Zealand. Perfectly round stones, some as wide as 6 feet, lie scattered on a beach. They look like they were carved, but weren't. Formed slowly under ocean sediment, then revealed by erosion, these orbs have a presence. Some split open, revealing crystal interiors. They feel ancient, out of place, like forgotten relics. And when the tide rolls in, they vanish, ghosts of geology. In the Canadian wilderness, there's a lake that boils but not from heat. Abraham Lake produces huge frozen bubbles trapped under the ice. These white orbs are methane gas, emitted by decaying plants. They form beautiful, stacked discs, but they're also explosive. Pierce the ice and light a match, and you'll see nature's hidden fury. It's a deadly beauty, floating beneath a fragile surface. In India, there's a town where red rain once fell. Not metaphorically, literally crimson-colored rainfall. In 2001, Kerala witnessed this strange event multiple times. Some thought it was dust, others whispered of alien spores. Microscopic analysis revealed unidentified cells. Not blood, not sand, but lifelike particles. Scientists remain divided. It's one of the few natural events that still straddles science and science fiction. On Alaska's Mount St. Augustine, ice turns to fire. In 2006, volcanic lightning erupted during an ash plume. The result? A thunderstorm born inside a volcano. It crackled with energy as ash particles collided and electrified the air. It's called a dirty thunderstorm, and it's rare. Watching fire and lightning mix is like seeing Earth forge its own mythologies live. Have you ever heard of brinicles? Also known as ice fingers of death, these chilling formations grow under the sea. When cold brine from sea ice sinks, it freezes surrounding water into a descending icy tube. Anything it touches, sea stars, urchins, freezes instantly. It's like watching a slow-motion curse crawl across the ocean floor. And it reminds us, cold can be just as deadly as heat. In Iceland, there's a beach where the sand is black, the waves roar, and the wind sings. Reynisfjara is no ordinary beach. Its basalt columns rise like organ pipes, and the sea stacks offshore are said to be trolls turned to stone. It's visually stunning, but extremely dangerous. Sneaker waves can pull people into the ocean without warning. Beauty and peril, side by side. Imagine walking along a shore where every step leaves a glowing trail. That's what happens during bioluminescent tides, found in places like Puerto Rico's Mosquito Bay. Microscopic organisms called dinoflagellates emit light when disturbed. At night, the ocean glows blue with each ripple, splash, or paddle stroke. It's as if the sea becomes alive, sparkling with alien fire. But this magic is fragile. Pollution and tourism threaten its glow. A reminder, the brightest wonders are also the most delicate. There's a place in New York where fire burns beneath water. At Eternal Flame Falls, a small flickering flame dances just behind a waterfall. It's fueled by a pocket of natural gas leaking through cracks in the shale. Even as water pours over it, the flame endures. It feels like a secret tucked into nature's Pagasa paradox made real. A moment where the elements collide and somehow agree to coexist. Antarctica hides something truly surreal. A blood falls. Red, rust-colored water gushes from the icy white surface of Taylor Glacier. It's not blood, but it looks exactly like it. The color comes from iron-rich water that oxidizes when exposed to air. This ancient brine, sealed for millions of years, flows like a wound reopened. It's a chilling sight visually and symbolically. A frozen world that still knows how to bleed. In Indonesia, the Kawah Ijen volcano spews lava that glows blue. This isn't traditional lava, it's burning sulfur gas that ignites upon contact with air. At night, the mountainside becomes a glowing inferno of sapphire flames. It's one of the few places on Earth where fire doesn't burn red. Miners still descend daily into the crater, harvesting sulfur by hand. Among glowing flames and toxic clouds, life continues in strange, silent bravery. Beneath Japan's ocean waves, there's a different kind of mystery. Male pufferfish spend days carving intricate, symmetrical underwater crop circles in the sand. These formations are nests carefully sculpted to attract mates. Delicate ridges, precise geometry, built with a flick of fins. When viewed from above, they look like alien messages. But they're just love letters, written in sand and patience. Sometimes, beauty in nature serves the oldest purpose of all, to impress. Enter the glow-in-the-dark world of New Zealand's Waitomo Caves. Inside, thousands of glowworms cling to the ceiling, casting a soft, star-like glow. The light is actually a lure, used to attract prey. What looks like a galaxy is a biological trap. Drift in silence through the darkness, and it feels like you're floating in space. A cave that became its own sky, one glowing larva at a time. In parts of India and Canada, there are hills that defy gravity. Called magnetic hills or gravity hills, these slopes appear to pull cars upward. Turn off your engine, and your vehicle slowly rolls uphill. It's an optical illusion, sure, but when you're there, it feels supernatural. Even compasses behave oddly. Sometimes, the land plays tricks on our senses, reminding us that reality isn't always obvious. The singing dunes of the Sahara emit a deep hum that echoes across the desert. Not a whisper more, like a long, low note from a distant cello. The sound occurs when grains of sand shift under just the right conditions. It can last for minutes. Ancient travelers believed it was spirits or hidden drums. Today, scientists still debate the full cause. Regardless of the reason, it's haunting like the desert speaking its name. Ever seen a fire rainbow? These rare atmospheric events occur when sunlight passes through cirrus clouds at the right angle. The result? A rainbow, but horizontal and bursting with neon-like colors. It's not a true rainbow, it's an iridescent cloud phenomenon. The sky briefly looks painted with oils. These moments last just minutes, vanishing as quickly as they arrive. A fleeting masterpiece above our heads. In the forests of Japan, there's a tree that glows softly in the dark. Mycena chlorophyos, a bioluminescent mushroom, emits a pale green light at night. Clusters of them appear like fairy lanterns on rotting wood. This glow isn't for beauty, it's likely used to attract insects for spore dispersal. But the visual is unmistakably otherworldly. In some groves, it feels like stepping into a dream. There's a lake in Tanzania that turns animals to stone. Lake Natron has such high alkalinity that it calcifies anything that falls in. Birds and bats, preserved in eerie perfection, line the shores. It's not instant petrification, but close. The lake's vivid red color and chemical makeup make it seem like another planet. Death and preservation held in the same moment. It's like Medusa's myth, only real. In Norway, deep underground, a strange sound can sometimes be heard, like a low drone vibrating the stone. It's not wind. Locals call it the Hell's Bell phenomenon. Some believe it's seismic activity. Others point to underground water caverns. But no instruments have captured a consistent source. It comes and goes, as if the earth itself occasionally whispers warnings through the rock. In California's forests, there's a natural glow to the decaying wood. Foxfire, or fairy fire, is caused by bioluminescent fungi feeding on rotting trees. On moonless nights, the forest floor glows faintly green. It's not bright, but it's enough to read by. For early explorers, it was considered witchcraft. But it's simply nature beautiful and strangedoing what it's done for millennia. Australia's morning glory clouds are rare, tubular clouds that roll across the sky like giant floating scrolls. They can stretch over 600 miles long. No one's sure what causes them to form so perfectly. They move slowly, silently, with surreal symmetry. Glider pilots chase them like waves, riding their lift for miles. It's the atmosphere folding itself into scrolls of cloud script. And now, let's visit a lake that flashes colors like a gem. Lake Hillier in Western Australia is bubblegum pink. Unlike most pink lakes, this one's color never changed 7 when poured into a bottle. The exact reason is still debated, likely a combination of algae and salt-loving bacteria. But no toxins. It's safe. A pink lake that feels like it belongs in a dream, not a map. Have you ever seen ice flowers bloom? On cold mornings, in certain plants, water in the stems freezes and expands. This forces delicate ribbons of ice through the stem's cracks. The result? Intricate white petals of frozen silk. They melt with the sun, but for a few moments, the ground blossoms with frost. A fleeting garden made by the cold. In the Caribbean, there's a rare phenomenon called milky seas. Entire stretches of ocean glow white, visible from satellites. This glow can last for hours or days. It's caused by billions of bioluminescent bacteria working in unison. Sailors have reported feeling like they were floating through liquid moonlight. A biological symphony on an ocean-wide scale. Ever heard the sea whistle? The Baltic Sea can produce a musical hum when wind and waves align just right. It's not just noise, it's tuneful. Fishermen call it the singing sea. The ocean becomes an instrument, playing melodies only a few ever hear. And no two songs are ever the same. There are caves in Bermuda where the air feels like it's buzzing. Not with sound, but with electricity. These caves are filled with ionized air, reacting to magnetic shifts. Some people feel dizzy, euphoric, even clairvoyant. Locals once believed spirits lived inside. But perhaps it's just energy, raw and invisible, interacting with the mind. In Chile's Atacama Desert, rain is almost unheard of. But when it does fall, the desert erupts into flowers. Seeds that lay dormant for decades bloom into waves of pink and purple. It's called the Desierto Floridoce flowering desert. A once-in-a-decade miracle. A land of silence, suddenly singing with color. So much of our world still behaves like it's telling stories we've yet to understand. Nature isn't just science, it's poetry, mischief, and sometimes trickster magic. We walk on solid ground, under stable skies, thinking we've seen it all. But somewhere, at this very moment, it might be raining fish again. And that's why we keep listening. Because wonder isn't rare. It's just well hidden. Thanks for listening. If this episode stirred your sense of awe, stay close, hit that like button, and subscribe. There's more mystery ahead. See you in the next episode.